I don't know if you noticed, but most successful companies and individuals as well, they seem to be able to predict the future. And that's very important because then you plan, you move, and you strategize based on what's coming next. So today I want to share with you 3 of the major changes that will affect all of us in the next 5 years. The first one is climate change. This is a little bit obvious, but the consequence of climate change is what is interesting for all of us. So we are running out of carbon fuel, we're going to run out of oil in 50 years and coal in 100 years. This means that there will be many more devices, cars, etc. that will have electric engines. That means that the whole car will have, the whole device will have batteries, therefore will have more sensors, CPU power, connectivity to the internet. The industrial Internet of Things alone is an industry of $3 billion by 2025. And talking about the internet, the next big change is what I call Cloud 3.0. Cloud 2.0 is the cloud as we know it, with an additional decision automation and algorithms that apply artificial intelligence to our life online. I don't know if you heard about it, but Facebook has been sending flying drones with solar panel and rotors around the world to try and get coverage of fast broadband internet in remote areas. Google has done a similar project called Google Loon by Google X, and that's a project that involves weather balloons with routers and taking advantage of different currents at different heights, going around the globe again, take broadband at low altitude, so with very little latency all around the globe. But maybe the project that is more advanced in this, and I think the one that I believe is going to be the most reliable in the future, is the one brought by Elon Musk, SpaceX. He's going to send in orbit thousands of satellites at low orbit, at 2 different orbits actually, and he's going to bring really fast internet everywhere in the globe. By the end of next year or by 2020, he will have already 850 satellites online, and is going to start selling the service. So imagine now everything that you have online in the cloud being accessible potentially by 7 billion people, and the potential of that really gets beyond what we can imagine today. And the third one is the evolution of artificial intelligence, especially with the last leg of this evolution with deep learning. You have it in your pocket right now with Siri and Google. Deep learning is getting a little bit closer towards singularity, which is the moment in time when artificial intelligence will take consciousness that it exists. It seems to be a little bit of a stretch, but there are some facts that are happening today that will change completely the way that we interact with machines and with each other. I will have a full keynote speech at EOH Connect the 9th of May at the Sandton Convention Center in Johannesburg. You can check a link if you want to come and see us there. It's a fantastic event. I attended last year and I was really impressed with the quality of the speeches, the keynote, the panels and the clients attending there. But to share a little bit more about the EOH Connect, I went and see Jane Thomson, one of the directors at EOH. So this is Jane's office. She should be waiting for me. Let's see if she's in. And here she is. Hey Jane,
how are you?
Good to see you. Thank you for having me. How are things going?
Very well, and with
Good,
you?
good. Yeah, good. So do you have 5 minutes for a talk?
Of course I
Ask
do.
a couple of questions. So this is take 2 because last year we already presented together. We were in the panel together at
We did. Can you believe it was already a year ago?
This year instead we talk about big data, right?
Correct.
Big data and the speed of data, fast data. Tell me about the philosophy of this conference.
So the philosophy of this conference is a build-on from last year, really an extension of the digital transformation, which really lays the foundation to allow you to go into the second chapter of that journey and to start talking about the fast data, which is obviously as a result of what's transformed in the first phase. So this year our idea is to take it down to being a lot more practical in terms of real life case studies and use cases from our customers. I think one of the reasons, as you quite rightly say, there was such a lot of interaction last year is so many people were embarking on their journey and they were really keen to hear from those people that have had that experience. And certainly this year our plan is to take that a lot deeper, to be able to give real practical, valuable examples of what people have been doing and to help the rest of the audience move on from their journeys to this next
And
stage.
that's, I think, is really the core and how this kind of conference differentiates from everything else, because it's really a hands-on. People come there and they get so much they can take home and immediately implement it or evaluate what to do in terms of next step. I think from all the energy that I saw last year, that is really what people really bring home.
Absolutely. So I think we always talk about networking, but this is networking with the difference.
This is real. This is real.
Really.
I mean, I made so many connections just at the last evening when we did the cocktail.
Absolutely, and the last piece of
I finished my business cards. There was so much energy, and that really helps. I interviewed Rob, as you know, and he was talking about that. I mean, nobody, writes or types leave forms anyway. You do it with an app and all of that. And helping customers to get into that understanding and take them step by step based on the landscape that they have. I think it's a core message and what they really get from the conference.
Absolutely. Right? So part of that core message is to help people with their transition from a data literacy point of view, because before you can start doing data analytics and predictive analytics and all those clever things that we're going to be talking about, there has to be a level of understanding from the C-level about what it is that they need to do and prepare themselves. So buying the technology is the easy bit, but it's really about the effect it has on our organization.
Absolutely, and right, because we have clients at different maturity and we have all these experts in the room in one place and we have sessions and the expo and all of that. I think everybody at any level can get a lot of information that they can immediately figure out how to apply and how to configure, right?
Yes, and while you were chatting to Rob, he would have explained about how the sessions are structured. So there's the keynote presentation that sets the scene in terms of the 7 topics, what the main content is, and then there's that very useful panel that we really enjoyed ourselves with last year.
And we repeat the tracks this time, right?
Yes, that was a key learning for us from last year. So there were so many people that gave us feedback to say they would have loved to have attended the track, but
I'm one of them.
Yes, and me too. But it was an overlap, and so this time we will repeat them once in the morning, once.
So everybody got the opportunity to see whatever they want to attend. Okay, so I'm super energized for this 9th of May. I hope to see a lot of you, and we're going to see them the 9th of May at Sandton Convention Center.
It's going to be absolutely awesome, and I look forward to seeing you there again.
Fantastic.
Thanks so much,
Cheers.
Simone. Take care.